Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am with Sam again. Hi Sam.
Hey.
How are you doing?
No, yeah, I'm good. This is I think I've had 3 weeks in Australia now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. I'm even thinking about staying really. Came here as a tourist. Might stay, who knows?
And you have been into Melbourne and Sydney?
Yeah, Melbourne and Sydney, Bondi Beach.
Yep.
Learned surfing there. Yeah.
And in Bathurst as well.
Bathurst, yeah.
So we are in Bathurst at the moment in our amazing house.
In Australia, the houses, coming from the UK, the houses are just bigger, you know. You can see that there's not that kind of all compressed, let's just make the rooms just about big enough, let's make the stairs just about wide enough and all that kind of thing. There's a sense of not being compressed all the time. There's plenty of land, plenty of space, people are laid back. It's kind of like in the DNA of Australia to have things that are expansive and not pressured and constricted.
So we are at the moment in summer. How do you like Australian summer?
So I went, back in the UK, at the moment it's snowing right now. And then this is the middle of January?
Yep.
And then it's I've got sunburn, you know, in the middle of January, which I've never had before. Yeah, it's great, you know, it is a proper barbecue on the beach kind of country.
How was your surfing experience in Bondi Beach?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's fantastic. It was, you got Bondi Beach from the short time I was there. It's like a really laid back, it's very much the kind of beach boy, beach girl kind of thing. It was great. We got
even 6:45 a.m. in the morning, there were people, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. So I went out for a surfing lesson at 7 a.m. And when I was walking there, there's got an outdoor gym, kind of like Miami Beach outdoor gym. And then at 6:45, there must have been about 40 people at this outdoor gym. It was mainly guys, you know, some ladies as well, and everyone was working out together. But that was 6:45 a.m. people fully awake.
So Sam, what do you think about Australian people?
Right, well, I'll tell you a little story. So I was on a night out, going out for drinks in Bathurst, right? Mm-hmm. And then just randomly you're on the street, you know, a little bit tipsy and all that, and there's this group of fellas come along. And normally in the UK, when you get a group of 21, 22-year-olds, it can be quite an aggressive thing, but they weren't. They all to love you, you know what I mean? And then I was, you know, speaking to her about 2 minutes, and you know, we get along and all that, and explained that I didn't have any. This taxi needs to pay by cash, and I had my card, right, my contactless thing on my phone. And then they went and gave me cash.
Yeah.
To go in the taxi to go home. I known them for 2 minutes, and the guy just pulled out, you know, some cash and he just gave it to me. He says, "Don't worry about it." And I said, you know, I'll get it back for you next time. And he said, "Oh, don't worry, it's not going to be next time." And so if that's symbolic of all Australian people, I don't think they're.
But it was a nice start, yeah.
Yeah. But it was just nice thing because I gave them a good vibe, they gave me a good vibe back. You really get the sense a lot of Australian people, if you got a problem, you know, they're really kind of bend over backwards to help you, really.
Yep,
and I'd be very happy to help in return and all that. So that's the kind of vibe that I really liked about people. Everyone's quite upbeat and quite robustly upbeat as well, which might be because it's more outdoorsy here, because everyone can be a bit more outdoors, everyone's seeing each other more, people aren't kind of in the houses in the UK, hiding away, you know, watching Netflix and ordering takeaways. And I think everyone knows the neighbours a bit more around here than we do in the UK, but I think it's just because the weather is nice, and then it's actually a joy just to go outside, you know, before work, after work. People go surfing before work.
Even in the winter they go surfing.
Yeah. I bet it doesn't get that cold.
Yeah. So what is the main difference between UK and Australia? Yeah.
So I think the main difference is, and I'll use an analogy, it's, you know, if you take the engine in your car and you run it at 100%, and you redline it, it'll go fast for a while, but then it'll start braking, right? Things start braking, it gets too dangerous and that kind of thing. So it's in the UK, for example, the roads, they're very narrow. There's cars parked on both sides of the street. There's loads of traffic congestion because people get stressed and all that kind of thing. In the UK, the engines always run at between 90 and 110%. But in Australia, if you want to have any system, you kind of want to run it at about 60% of its capability. And I kind of really get that sense in Australia. So it's like everything's run at 60%, so it means there's plenty of resources and we never kind of max it out. So that means that there's not as much traffic, there's not as much stress on people. I think if you have to wait for the doctors, you can get an appointment like the same day or the next day. People are at work, they've got generally quite a good attitude. They haven't got the pressure and stress that comes from running a system at 100%. And the whole system seems to just generally work better. People more, as I said before, like robustly upbeat. The more fun, the minimum wage is higher, I think, relatively here than the UK. So everyone has like, you remove the element of desperation. Everything feels like food and groceries and such as well. About 30% off compared to the UK. Everything's quite expensive, even if you buy like a bacon, lettuce and tomato sandwich in the UK. It's like £3.50, but in the equivalent in Australia it'd be like £2.20 or £2.50. And that's pretty much everywhere, even like Sydney and such. So
I seen like Australian people love holidays and vacations. They don't want to work much. They just want to spend their free times in holidays.
Yeah.
And I think Australian has been converted to 4 days work and 3 days off, like a system. Whereas some companies has been converted. I was working in Telstra previously, and that was also converted. 4 days work, 3 days holiday.
I mean, I think they've had to, right? Because I mean, if everyone likes, when people come to Australia for holidays, honeymoons, all this kind of thing. So if people just don't, I guess, try and do a 5-day working week, it's not enough time off, right? Not enough time to go surfing and everything. And maybe so many people throw in 6 days. I thought, you know what, come on, let's go with the flow. Let's do the 4-day work week. And then everyone's just like a lot happier for it then.
Exactly. What about the downsides of Australia?
Okay, so what I've noticed is that if you want to go and see someone, if you're in, like we're in Bathurst now, or if you want to go see your friends who's in Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane, you're looking like a 9-hour drive or a 3-hour drive. Everywhere is like so far away.
Yep.
You can do flights, but if you don't live next to an airport, because we're in Bathurst now, which is about 3 hours drive. If you want to go and see anywhere, it's like a 3-hour drive, and then you got to go and get a plane. But the planes are very cheap, so I went from Sydney to Melbourne, and that was an hour and a half flight time, and it cost
$100.
Yeah, it was like $100, like £50. So it is really cheap. I think those are prices from what I've seen, they don't really go up like if you want to do it last minute though, the day before. So it is literally just like getting buses and such.
But for international travel, it's good location. Australia is closer to Asia, so you can go anytime to Bali, Thailand.
And that's a good thing because when you go on holiday, it's like you want to go somewhere that's really different from where you live, right? You don't just want to go from from the UK to say France, where it's a bit different, but I mean you can still go to Starbucks and all this kind of thing. But if you want to go from like Australia, which is kind of, I feel like a bit more like European because everyone speaks English here, and apart from the Aboriginals, right, who are actually from Australia. It's like if you want a really different experience, you go to like Taiwan, Japan, Indonesia, and that's like radically different from your everyday experiences in Australia, so it feels more like a holiday, right? You get the sense that you go in, I imagine that you get the sense you go to like an exotic place, which is best for overall like relaxation, refreshing. You actually get surprised when you go back to work because everything's so different again, so that's quite nice. So yeah, it's like Americans, if they want to go over to France, that's like a really big trip for them, isn't it? But in the UK, it's just like you can go in the Eurotunnel and just like nip over there. It's like you can get like a 1-hour flight from like Manchester to Paris and that kind of thing. So yeah, if you want to like really explore some like really different cultures like Japan, Asia, or the Oriental and Indonesian stuff, then yeah, it's almost like having honeymoon locations on your doorstep. So
exactly. So Sam, permanently would you consider to live in Australia, to stay here?
Yeah, I was told about this when I came over here, and I was coming here just for holiday.
Yeah.
He says there's a pretty good chance that you're not going to come back, or you're going to come back with like an Australian driver's license, or Australian permanent residency or work holiday visa or something like that. But yeah, I can really see why a lot of people that come over here for a holiday and then end up staying. I mean, like trying to come over to Australia for like a normal holiday, which is 2 weeks, it just feels not enough. So I'm here for 6 weeks originally, and then it's like you can just really enjoy your time off because like the weather's nice all the time. It's pretty good. Like the way of life is good. It's almost, and if you're quite a happy, upbeat person, this is like where your tribe is in Australia because everyone else is quite happy, upbeat. People aren't like like backstabby or sarcastic all the time. It's a nice place to be. So if you're like a bit of a sunshiny person like I am, then actually it's probably quite suitable. The UK is great for many things. If you want to set up a business, obviously my friends and family are over there. We've got really good industries. I work in the film industry, and we have a really strong industry over there. So the money is really good, and I've realised a lot of people from around the world, they come to the UK because the economy is so good. Like,
job opportunities.
Yeah, I can't understand why people come from like beautiful places like Australia, Philippines, Thailand. Why would they leave these like paradise places and come to the UK?
Yeah.
And the only answer is money, because it's not for the weather, is it? Coming. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. So I think, especially if you can land like a really good job in Australia, then you've got the best of all worlds. Then and then probably you should stay.
Thanks for tuning in today, and thank you, Sam, for joining my video.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully, we will continue our videos in Bali. And maybe in the future more videos from Australia as well. If you move permanently, we will see. Alright, thanks guys. See you.
Bye.